to era of supreme peace. The new knowledge for the new earth, revealing the Supreme Father and the coming new world, inspired by Bapuji, Dashrathbhai Patel's teachings, guidance, and strength. So, welcome back, everyone. And today's a very profound episode of Beyond the Mind, where we explore consciousness, soul awareness, divine knowledge, and the transformation of humanity. I am Mona.
And I'm Chetna. Param Shanti. So today's episode is about deeply transformative question. And what is that? That why does Bapuji says that the new earth needs the new knowledge? So what's this new Gyan? And why is humanity spiritually restless despite of so much information, advancement? And what does it truly mean to become the instruments for creating the higher world?
Yeah. So, Chetna ji, humanity today has technology, science, social media, artificial
Yes.
intelligence, yet
Yes.
anxiety, fear, loneliness, and inner emptiness are growing everywhere. So, according to Bapuji's perspective, what is humanity actually missing?
Yeah, so what Bapuji explains that a very profound, a new world cannot a new world cannot be created with the old consciousness. Why is
Mm,
it so? Because the problem is not merely external systems. The deeper issue is with the human consciousness itself.
mm,
People have become externally advanced, but the internally disconnected. Minds are overloaded, hearts are restless,
mhm,
relationships are
mhm,
weakening, right?
mhm,
And
mhm,
souls have forgotten their original nature. And
mm,
that is why the new earth requires new spiritual awareness. The weather change, what we have observed, whether it's India or outside India or across the world. So, not just more information, but the transformation is needed.
mm. Okay, okay.
So the
Mm,
message begin with the powerful affirmation. There is an infinite supreme peace, supreme peace, supreme peace. Means
mm,
uh, when we want to initiate a transformation, it should start with the peace, because
mm,
the very first thing is peace. So
mm, mhm,
Bapuji has explained that the supreme peace is the nature of the soul.
mm,
So
mm,
new consciousness, the human consciousness should be in supreme peace.
mm,
So,
mm.
but this peace is not an emotional comfort, but it is the spiritual state beyond the body consciousness.
Exactly. So Bapuji's teaching says that no experience, that to experience this peace, the soul must go beyond identification with the body, roles, status, and ego, and stabilize itself before the Supreme Father. When the soul disconnects from
Mhm.
body awareness, body consciousness, fear begins to dissolve and comparison disappears, stress weakens, and silence becomes natural.
So true. And from this inner stability, every action becomes elevated. So
Hmm.
the message from Bapuji says that special souls reveal the Supreme Father through every action,
Hmm.
not by just preaching alone, but by becoming living example of peace, wisdom, and purity.
Wow, that's so wonderful. You said, according to Bapuji, special souls reveal the Father through every action,
Yes.
not just by talking, using words, by the becoming the living examples of peace, wisdom, and purity. So, one of the deepest ideas here is to becoming a living image of the Father. What does that really mean, Chetnaji, spiritually?
Right. So, according to Bapuji perspective, spirituality is not the escape from the life. It is the transformation of a personality. So we go for personality development course, but it is the external development course.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to strengthen yourself, so you have to turn to the spirituality and inwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the transformation of the personality, vibrations, awareness, vision, and actions. So the
Wow,
message says that such souls become the spiritual artist, not artists using the paint and brushes, but the souls who paint the picture of the new world through their consciousness.
wonderful.
Imagine like walking onto a room and people feel the peace without speaking a word. So that itself becomes the world service. You don't need to
Wow,
speak out, but itself.
that is so wonderful, so beautiful. So, transformation itself becomes a teaching, right?
Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
Bapuji explains that the new earth will not be the built
Mm-hmm.
through force or fear.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be built through the awakened vibrations.
Awaken vibrations. Okay.
Yes. So,
So, Bapuji's message also telling us symbolically about the seed becoming visible only after old branches dry away. What does that mean?
yeah, so what he meant is spirituality point of view, it means old systems and old consciousness are weakening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why
Mm-hmm.
this fear and these things are coming.
Mm-hmm.
But it is coming for the transformation. So
Mm-hmm.
humanity is beginning to see that. Now we
Mm-hmm.
see in our surroundings. So endless consumption does not create the happiness. This is very deep. Endless consumption does not create the happiness. Ego does not create the peace. And external success alone cannot satisfy the soul. So,
Wonderful.
as old branches dry away, the original truth becomes visible again.
Mm.
And according to the teaching, the seed represents the Supreme Father,
Okay.
original soul consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
and the eternal spiritual knowledge humanity which humanity has forgotten.
Oh, okay. So, what exactly is this new knowledge Bapuji speak about?
Yeah, it's very interesting. So the new Gyan, what new knowledge, what Bapuji has spoken about is that the awakened consciousness, it teaches I am not merely this body alone. Thoughts, all the thoughts, whatever we think, it carries the vibration. Every sankalp, every thought affects the collective atmosphere. Human
Mm-hmm.
beings, human beings are like a creators through their consciousness,
Okay.
and the outer world reflects the inner world of the human beings.
Hmm.
So this knowledge goes beyond the rituals, blind beliefs, right? It is like
Yes.
a
Hmm.
experiential wisdom. The
Hmm.
new earth needs souls who live consciously, observe their thoughts, create peaceful vibrations, and remember their original divine nature.
Wow. So, the new world, live consciously, observe your thoughts, create peaceful vibrations, and remember that original divine nature, your original divine nature. Okay.
Yes.
So, one fascinating part of this message is the difference between love and the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual love and the spiritual knowledge.
Yes. So the message explains that there are two kinds of seekers.
Mm-hmm.
So those moved only emotionally, and those who combine love with the deep spiritual understanding. So love can
Okay.
inspire temporarily, but the knowledge creates the stability, clarity, discriminant, and concentration, and spiritual power. So combination of
Mhm.
love and wisdom is the best. So Bapuji emphasizes that the contemplation transforms the consciousness, and when souls
Mhm.
deeply churn spiritual knowledge, they develop the power of recognize the truth, to feel the truth
Hmm.
inside.
Feel the truth. So the message from Bapuji also is humanity is spiritually confused and suffering.
Yes,
And because of this, the new knowledge must spread everywhere, right?
exactly.
Hmm.
That is true. So, this new knowledge is beyond the ordinary science and worldly education. What we
Hmm.
have studied in our childhood, right? It is the knowledge
Mhm.
of the soul, supreme peace, the infinite spiritual world, the supreme father, and the humanity's original form. So, even if
Hmm.
only a few understand initially, the vibration of the truth eventually is going to spread globally, because the souls are hungry for something deeper than material success. Because if you see,
Hmm.
Bonaji, whatever you achieve, it gives you happiness, but for how long? It
Yeah,
expires. Even
very
happiness
temporary.
expires,
Yes.
temporary.
Mhm. So, Chetna ji, so what is the role of spiritual souls during this transition?
So the message gives a very clear answer: become the embodiment of peace, become example of the divine qualities, and become the instruments who reveal the Father, Supreme Father, through the actions.
Mhm.
Not through fear, not through control, but through the vibration, awareness, purity, and stability. And self transformation creates the atmosphere transformation. And once the
Okay.
atmosphere transformation, it will create the world transformation.
Wow.
So,
So, according to Bapuji, the new earth is not simply a future event, right?
yes,
It is first created inside human consciousness.
exactly.
Then
So,
you can
when
see the effect outside. Yes.
yes, then no fear,
Mhm.
no, low vibration, low emotions, all high vibrations. So,
Mhm.
exactly. So, when enough soul shifts, enough soul means certain amount of souls and collective consciousness, from anger to peace,
Mhm.
from ego to
Mhm.
awareness, from fear to
Mhm.
trust, and from noise to the silence. Then
Mhm.
collective reality changes, and the new earth begins the
Mhm.
moment of consciousness changes.
Wow. Wonderful. So today's episode reminds us that spirituality is not about escaping the world. It is about preparing consciousness for a higher world.
Yes.
Hmm.
It is about
Awesome.
preparing consciousness
Great.
for higher
Mhm.
worlds, and
Mhm.
perhaps the deepest teaching is this: that the humanity must evolve from the information to consciousness.
Mhm.
So the peace
Mhm.
is not passive, like true peace is not passive, it is a powerful spiritual peace, it's a original nature that transform the
Mhm.
soul,
Mhm.
eventually
Mhm.
transform the world.
Yeah. Wonderful. So from humanity should focus more from information to consciousness. And as
Consciousness.
you said, true peace is not passive. It's a powerful spiritual force that can end the entire world. So thank you so much everyone for tuning us into this journey towards supreme peace, soul awareness, divine knowledge, and the coming new era and new earth.
So may we
Yeah.
all being become the living lights who reveal the wisdom,
Yes.
purity, love, and peace through every action.
Every action. Yes. We should reveal. Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. And if you have any question, please feel free to email us and we will get back to you. And this has been a very, very powerful message from Bapuji Dashrathbhai Patel. And we are practicing
Yes.
Bapuji's teachings, and we can definitely experience the difference in our perspective, our thinking, our actions, and our experiences. And that's the main reason for today's podcast, to share this information, new knowledge for the new earth,
World. So,
and it should help
Monali,
everyone.
there is one question in the comment that how fear disappears again.
We just said that, right?
Spoke about it.
When you
Yes.
connect to your higher self, definitely your fear dissolves. We said, right?
Uh,
In the
Yeah,
beginning,
fear
we
will
mentioned.
convert into the trust then. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. And you have to become instrument, right? And in order to become an instrument to transform this whole humanity from information to consciousness, you have to work on yourself. What
Yes.
exactly you have inside? You have to change your thought patterns, from ignorance to awareness.
Awareness. Exactly.
And there are thousands of videos of Bapuji on his channel, and you can get answer to all your questions. So
Yes.
please go there and explore more knowledge, and you will see the difference. Do you want to say something else, Chetnaji, about this? How?
Yes. So regarding this also, like information to consciousness, so there is a playlist on our channel. It's called Check and Change. So you can start go through that checklist. It is going to certainly help. It is also under guidance of the Bapuji knowledge. So it will certainly help you
Mhm,
to become from information to consciousness, like to get rid of
mhm.
fear
Yeah.
and other things.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for joining. See you next time.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Param
Param
Shanti,
Shanti.
supreme
Param
peace.
Shanti.